Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to make some omena, some grains, and some ugali. So the first thing I did to my omena was to separate the head, the eyes from the other part of the body, as you can see. And there were my grains yet to be cut into small pieces. The first thing I needed to do was squeeze some lemon juice from half piece of a lemon. You squeeze your lemon juice and sieve so that you don't add the seeds. You just need the lemon juice. That's why I'm sieving to get rid of the seeds and any part of the fruit that falls. So you need some fresh lemon juice or some vinegar, but for me I decided to go with lemon juice. To the lemon juice I added some boiling water. Note better, boiling water, not hot water. You must bring your water to boil before adding the water to the lemon juice, where you will need to soak your omena. Omena is some small fish. In case you're not from Kenya, omena belongs to the group of fish. You need to soak your omena in your lemon juice water. And before we continue, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching and you have not subscribed, you shouldn't be watching. Just pay me by subscribing. You need to soak your omena in your lemon juice and some boiling water. Stir and cover. And here it is after about 30 minutes. That's why when I was away, I was cutting my greens. And here were the results. You can see there that water is so dirty. The reason you soak the omena is to clean them, since you can't clean them one by one. So you just soak them in hot water to get rid of the dirt. You can see how dirty that water was. After about 30 minutes, sieve them. You can see there they turned out to be so clean, but since the water was so dirty, I needed to rinse them like 5 times more after 5 times after soaking them. Here's me rinsing them for the first time. The other 4 times I rinsed off camera. Add some cold water or hot water if you have some. Add some warm or cold water. Stir again and sieve. They turned out to be so clean, so you should clean them that way. Actually, this is my first time cooking omena. It's not something that I've been doing. So the first thing you need to do is remove the head. If you don't want them to be bitter, then soak them in hot water with lemon juice. The next thing I did was to deep fry them in some oil. I didn't use so much oil because I didn't want all my oil to smell like omena. So I just used some little oil to deep fry them for some minutes, then remove them from the hot oil so that I could fry them. Remove them, put them in a bowl or a plate, put them somewhere. Make sure you use this kind of spoon that has some holes to avoid putting them away with excess oil, since when frying them you use some oil. Here I divided the deep frying oil into 2. Some I used to fry my greens and some to fry the omena. And that is why I didn't use a lot of oil, because I needed to use all of it afterwards. So here's the oil that I used to fry the omena. The first thing I added was some onions. add some onions to your hot oil, but for me I added some onions before the oil could be hot. Here's my greens onions, and it's time to add some spices and salt before adding the greens. I use these Knorr cubes mixed with onions. I don't know, you can go and check it out. That's the container, and mine finished right after, so you can buy me some if you want to surprise me. Then I added some salt. Here is my onions for the greens, not for the omena. After adding some salt, I added my greens. My greens consisted of spinach and kales. Only spinach and kales. Add your greens and cover this foria for the greens to cook. And here are the onions for the omena. Checking if they are ready so that I can add the spices. I usually add onions, spices, then tomatoes if I'm adding some, before adding what I'm cooking. So I needed the onions to brown a bit before adding the spices. The spices that I used were paprika. I used paprika, Royco cube, soy sauce. Here's my paprika. Oh, and also added salt. Here's some salt. There is some salt. Added some paprika, salt, and Royco cube. Stir so that your onions don't turn to black. They need to be brown, not black. Don't overcook your onions. This is the Royco cube that I used, beef flavored. Add a Royco cube, and you can use 2 Royco cubes if your omena are quite many than mine. Mine were just about 2 cups, 1.5 cup, but that depends on the cup you use to measure. So let me say they were just about 500 grams or 250 grams. Let's say 250 grams. I added some soy sauce later on after adding the crushed Royco cube. I added some soy sauce, then added some tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, diced tomatoes, whatever you want to call them. Chop your tomatoes and add. Dice your tomatoes and add. Here's me checking whether the grains are ready as the nyanya cook. Nyanya is tomatoes, in case you don't know. Tomatoes. So stir your grains. Stir well. That spice is so good for greens. That's the Knorr spice. You should buy it and try it out in case you don't have it. And if you don't have it, and if you have it, use it on your greens. It's so good. For me, I usually not add tomatoes to my greens. I just use onions and salt if I don't have the Knorr spice. But if I have the Knorr spice, I add. At this point, the tomatoes were ready for the omena. I usually try to mash them to know whether they are ready, and I felt that they were ready. That's why I added the omena right after. Add your omena and and let them fry for some time before stir and let them fry for some time before adding some soup. I meant some soup. Don't go adding soap. I'm sorry about that. What I'm trying to say is some broth, like soup. I hope you get it now. Okay. Then after you add your broth and the stew boils for some minutes, you can let it cool as you cook your ugali. For me, I like starting with the stew before cooking ugali. But sometimes I start with the ugali before cooking the stew. You just need to add some water, little water, bring it to boil, then wait for your ugali to get ready so that you can serve. I waited for the broth to boil off the camera, and after cooking the ugali, I was ready to serve. Here are the results. Please, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Get me to 100k subscribers, and I will appreciate. Jump from 40 subscribers to 100k subscribers. Here is me serving the food. Make sure you try out this recipe and let me know how yours turns out. And thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed. I don't take it for granted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate. And make sure you try this recipe and let me know how yours turns out. If you can't get omena where you are, you can come to Kenya and I'll cook for you. Bye bye. Bye.